What I discovered is that most of the time policymakers are flying by the seat of their pants, and that in order to make sort of important, meaningful, and long-term impact on policy, the way to do it is to take a step back and do, yes, you guessed it, research. And so that has been what I've been doing since grad school. And Georgetown's been a fantastic place to do that because Georgetown is close enough to the policy process to be able to observe it easily, but far enough away that you have that space and that you can think about things in the bigger picture. My research focuses on international trade policy. So I do a combination of sort of traditional policy research, which, for example, takes an exogenous trade policy change and tries to figure out the effects that it would have on market outcomes. So, for example, I've got a current paper which looks at the effect of changes in trade policy uncertainty on the intermediate input mix of firms. The other line of research, most of my research, in fact, the research that I do that I think is the most innovative is actually the political economy type of research, where in that case, the variable of interest is the policy itself. So that's the endogenous variable. And you're interested in how various factors in the economy shape the way that policies get made. So currently, my research agenda focuses on the impact of changes in trade and intermediate inputs associated with the most recent wave of globalization on governments' protectionist responses. What I like best about teaching PhD students is really teaching at the frontier of the field. The goal of the PhD program is to bring students from where they are now to the very research frontier where they can begin working on their dissertations. And so that requires that faculty understand the frontier very well and know their way around it, and that's an exciting place to operate. I think the other thing that's great about PhD students is working with them directly because you learn a great deal from their research. Once you realize that faculty members that are teaching you are interested in the same things you are, working on the same sorts of things you are, and have the same sorts of struggles you do, I think it creates a closer bond and a better working relationship. Georgetown has a fantastic location, particularly if you're interested in any kind of policy research. The institutions in this town that engage in policy-oriented research are all over the place, and they're really excellent. Georgetown has great faculty, both in the econ department and in the university more generally. My area of international trade, I think there are 7 or 8 of us in the university that do international trade between the business school, the School of Foreign Service, and the economics department. And so it's a big group, and you can draw on those resources as well. Lots of possibilities for internships and various places one can gather data. There's no shortage of resources available to you at Georgetown in particular, but in Washington, D.C. more generally.